me get to...
It doesn't matter. I can at least start the stream,
That's true.
Yeah.
which I started, by the way.
Oh.
Speaking of by the ways, how about I figured out if I'm on my desktop Facebook, I can invite people through my post privacy settings. So a whole lot of people just got invited for like the first time ever, like minutes ago, and I'm just going to formally apologize for that right now because a bunch of people are like, "I would, but I'm working," or Boo Boo's like, "I'm recording my own podcast episode." I'm like, "It's okay."
La la la.
If I knew I could have done this, I would have done this last night, like before I fell asleep, and y'all would have had at least a good, 8 to 10 hours notice, if not more.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay, I need to get off of you. Maybe not. Well, I can't.
But who knows who doesn't have something to do today,
Exactly. You never know.
You just never know.
Like, I have nothing planned for the rest of the day.
Seriously?
Yeah. Seriously. Like, yeah, there's this whole big, like, Riverfest thing going on in Cincinnati, which I never go to ever because it's a loud, crowded fucking mess. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure there's other things going on, but...
David, you crack me up. You're like, yeah, there's this big blah, blah, blah. Like, just like not having it.
No. I've been a couple of times, and it is super fucking crowded, and it's because it's fireworks as well, so it's always noisy. And I mean, it's any other person, it'd be like, cool, yeah. Like, and if I were there with people, sure, I could maybe do it, but most of the time, no. No. Okay. That'll work. That way I can lean on. Then be kind. There we go. So I think I have everything on the documento, or do we still need a little more time?
I think we'll have time in that Chester doing something, but I have a thing that I need to talk about today, so that's gonna take a little bit.
Oh God.
Not a long time. Necessarily.
So that's scary. 2 hours later.
Rude. Actually, I don't think it'll take very long to talk. I don't think I'll have very much to say for very long. I'm talking to the camera like any of y'all can see me. Anyways.
I can see you.
We can see you, just the chat, like Drew, who's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Cannot. But we can see you.
Oh, I think Drew was responding to your comment. I'm like, I think there's a... Oh, no, wait, there is a Ribfest here in Pittsburgh, I think, this weekend. We were just discussing this yesterday, if I was paying attention, which I wasn't. Anyways, I'm going to have something to talk about in the first part of the show today that I can talk about and not, like, expound on. But I have a funny feeling that you three are going to want all the mofo details. So that's not on me. Like, that's on other people. And I have to figure out whether or not I'm going to actually publicly release details. I guess is the appropriate way to put that.
On another site, just because I suddenly remembered it, let's not say podcast show, just say show. Whenever you come up to a place like on this week's episode or this week's show, not on this week's podcast show.
Okay.
Just kind of like how I prefer it because it sounds weird to me.
No, I understand, but where were we? Is that like
I think it was on the announcement invite thing.
Oh, it could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, I did that at like 2 a.m, so I will own I was.
I just have
not
this weird thing
fine.
where I prefer podcast is kind of more the method and inner subtitle, but the show is just Cubs Out Loud. It's not Cubs Out Loud podcast. So the podcast Cubs Out Loud is fine, but it's not part of the show title. And it's each episode, each show, because it's a show of a podcast, not a podcast show. It's my little thing, and as producer, I'm going to
that's fine.
Put my foot down.
So, just for
the
clarification, you don't care if we actually say podcast, just not podcast show.
Just we are a podcast.
Correct, and this is an episode
or a show of
this week's
the podcast
topic.
Show topic.
All right, I'll take out podcast. This week's show topic. Save. Because you know what happens? I copy paste that shit from week to week, so it will always appear unless I go in and fix it now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, the chat is going, what's all this? Oh, that's right. Heinz Field kickoff and Ribfest here in Pittsburgh. Uh-oh. Shelby joined the chat. We're all in
Cameron. Yay. And a Caden Wilson.
What?
I don't know. I didn't change anything. Maybe it's just because my air conditioner's not running. I don't know. But I'm glad I sound great today. That's important to me.
Good.
Okay, I have a question. I want some clarification. I don't think you guys will care. Would uniform be scouts? Like, I have pictures of J-Mo Bear.
Yes, that's fine.
I think that would be fine. Although, I think we were thinking more about people who work, but...
Well, that's what I mean. I'm looking for...
Wait. Is it a Scoutmaster?
It's J-Mo Bear.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess maybe it's a master. Well, I mean...
I meant, if he was a Scoutmaster, you could possibly say that he works for the BSA, so therefore it would be a job. Maybe. But that's kind of pushing it.
We're fine. Just use it. I'm fine with seeing pictures of J-Mo Bear, and I don't think our audience will mind either. So.
Right.
We can be flexible.
Especially if, said pictures of J-Mo include his ass. So.
Oh, here we go.
What? What?
He has a nice ass. Come on.
By the way, I'm in Pittsburgh. I am hereby dealing with fresh meat syndrome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meaning that you are the fresh meat?
Yes.
Yes. This 4-decade-old.
I wanted clarification.
Been to this city many times in my life. Yes. There's lots of people who don't know who the hell I am.
You know you've kind of been there many, many times.
Well, these people don't know who I am. They don't know that I've been here many times. So, yeah, that's why I said it.
They don't know anything about you.
They'll be like, new profile, who dis?
Lord.
Will be delivered on Tuesday. Ooh, yay! My pre-order through Amazon is arriving on Tuesday. That's cool.
Pre-order of what?
A book. An author that I follow, he wrote a new book, and it is coming out. Well, it's been publicly released as of today. It's shipped or shipping, I believe so.
Nice.
Drew chimed in and said, uniform equals police, military, scouts, etc.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think quite
right.
But,
I'm
well,
right.
There's etc. So
My question was more because this is kink. It would be like me getting in my uniform, my service dog uniform. I wanted to make sure that it was going to be okay.
It's fine.
we're flexible.
flexible.
The sprinkle
Oh,
bot says,
thanks for the last
"Leave last
minute
invite, Carrie."
You're welcome. Although I don't know this person by this profile name.
I know who that is. That's Jack. Hey, Jack.
Jack Hinkle?
Yes.
Oh,
Hi, Jackie.
nice.
Oh, wait, are we like live?
Yes,
We're
they can hear
we're
us.
streaming. We haven't
Oh.
gone like.
Hi, Jackie.
That's twice. Would you like to go for 3 just to round it out?
Oh, round that.
Does that mean we're summoned, Jackie?
This isn't Beetlejuice. You summon him.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Okay.
Actually, it would be really fucking awkward. If
All
you
right,
could summon
11.
someone just by saying their name 3 times.
No.
It would have to be kind of consecutively in a row or something.
You take that back right now. We are
I know.
not.
God, people might be jumping all over the place or something.
Yeah.
Just because, oh, I really want to see, I really want to see this person.
That is a way to guarantee homicide. I'm telling you.
Okay, I am going to be putting. I can't find a blue collar one, so I'm going to be putting. I'm
Have you looked at my blue collar one?
adding a category for sports. That's it.
What the?
No.
No.
No, not yet. Why?
Because if I remember correctly, that's the one I was using for uniform.
Oh, hang on a second. Like, we've never in a TTO before doubled or tripled up on, like, seriously.
That's fine. It's all good.
Okay, so it's 12 past the hour. Are we kind of ready to start up? Rock and roll, something?
Are you in a hurry?
I answer to all sorts. I am visiting friends in another city. They might want to go do things today.
Whatever.
Oh, hold on. Ruined. That's okay. You got a backup plan.
And we have a bunch of feedback to get through. What, girl? Oh, I am so not answering this. Where are you from? Boink. I ain't got time to deal with that. Whatever.
Where are you from? Not here.
Obviously, use illiterate because you can't read my profile.
La 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 la.
Really? Smurfs?
Yep. Cause fuck this.
La 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 la.
Because this noise, really?
Because I literally am like randomly like doing shit. Oh.
Ooh.
There you go. We're fine now. We're all fine.
How are you?
I don't know why you said it on our behalf. That's actually kind of like misleading. Because sometimes we are, some of us are not fine. Just, you know.
Oh, wait.
I think I still have beer in my system from yesterday. God.
I'm just putting beer in my system.
Distinctive clothing worn by members of the same organization.
What was I doing? I was doing anything.
Oh my God. Drew's like fucking copying Wikipedia or dictionary.com or some shit.
Like, listen. Oh, you fucker. Thank you.
That's that. That's that. That's that. And done. And done. And done. And...
Okay. I need to pee. Hold on.
Is there? Oh, now we're gonna have honorable mentions. Really?
I couldn't find a blue collar one.
Well, I am ready.
So now I'm gonna go looking to see if I can spot a last minute honorable mention, because when I was doing this, I thought I had one or two, and then I was like, oh, apparently we're not doing that because that's not listed.
Damon is ready to go.
I am so ready.
She is on fire.
Okay. I'm back.
She is channeling Alicia Keys so bad right now.
This girl is on fire.
All right, I'm good. Let's do it.
All right,
There we go.
here we go. September 3rd, 2017. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I'm Chester.
This room is a pigsty, and you're a dirty pig boy.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
Welcome to Comes Out Loud, the Bear Podcast from Terminal Length, episode number 430. And apparently we're full of giggles.
It's Damon.
Someone just put their feather underwear on. What is going on? What am I missing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you shady bitch. You wait till I go back and watch this stream later. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Sometimes you gotta watch what people on Skype are doing.
I'm trying to catch up on the...
Are you catching up on the chat?
No, I'm trying to catch up on the new category that we just added to the doc.
Oh, that thing. Got it.
That's that.
I think it was listed as honorable mentions too, but that's beside the point.
Anyways,
Let's
and
look
I'm trying to
around.
change my Tumblr settings because...
Okay.
You may...
So this past week, I've kind of gotten into like watching more like RPG shows. Like on Alpha, they've got like a whole bunch of different shows, and then they call back to some of the other shows. So then I start watching those and getting caught up on things, and then it's like I want to watch all of these shows, but then it also makes me want to play D&D, and I'm like, I can't really afford to get the books and stuff like that, and I don't really have anybody to play with right now. Somebody, if you have like are using a free gaming system or would like to share some of your PDFs or something and want to do like a Skype thing on any day but Tuesday or Sunday, then night, I would love to join. So yeah. That's
One of my friends said that you can do board games via your desktop with other people,
but that's not.
and I want to say
talking
it's
about D&D.
something you can.
I'm talking about like
it is
using Roll20 or something like that to play Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs.
Okay.
Not
Dungeons
I'm not talking
and
about
Dragons is a tabletop game.
Yeah, well, the
Anywho.
way I'm sorry, I was taking what you were saying as interpreting it more as like Monopoly or Cards Against Humanity or something.
Well, you could use those too.
Mhm.
So it is possible. We had when one of my game groups, we had a guy who lived in. Well, actually, it was Lee out of Pittsburgh. Well, he then he moved to Arizona, and then we had to stop. But he had to stop. But we had him on a computer, and we connected with him via Skype, and he was able to play.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's possible.
I know it can be done.
It's
I just don't have a gaming group to do it.
Yeah,
with.
gaming
it's-
groups are
it's-
hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you have no idea. Like, anywho,
I used to play some D&D like all the freaking time, like years ago, but due to extraneous circumstances, that kind of like faded out. So I think it was like during the changeover from 4E to 5E or something like that. Or no, it was 3.5 to 4.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
And we were doing an actual like Wizards campaign stuff, like official campaign stuff. I even ran a game, and that was kind of fun to develop. Although we didn't get through it all because timing, and I'm not necessarily the best at creating the scenarios.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to end, but we just didn't have the time to do everything.
Yeah.
I
it
probably
happens.
did a
Trust
little
me.
too much on it now that I've like watched GM tips and stuff on Alpha. So anyways.
Yeah.
So if anybody has a gaming group or something that you're doing online with Roll20 or something, and would love to have another cop join, let me know. Anyways, that's me.
Sweet.
Damon, what's going on with you?
Speaking of tabletops and gaming and stuff, I actually had my first poker night. I had planned to do it twice, but this was the first one we actually ever had. Had a nice crowd, a group of people here, friends over, and it was a really good time. I think most people enjoyed themselves. We worked out a couple of kinks. We had a couple of people, well, actually one person who had never played Texas Hold'em before, and then we had another person who has played but hadn't played in a long time. So it was, we started with a little bit of like, let's learn the basics and see what you can do. And the person who had never played before was like basically tied for first place. So good for her, because one of the things she did was she's a librarian by trade, and she read books and learned about strategy and all that stuff. And I think that honestly was to her benefit because she played the game surprisingly well. So good for her. Her and I tied for first place. It was a gentleman's, I forget what my friend called it, but basically it was down to the two of us. It was 11:30 at night. So it was decided to just go ahead and split. We had a pot, and we just decided to split the pot as opposed to play out and see who would eventually win. Just because that could have gone until
just considered
midnight.
it a draw.
Yeah. So, which was good. Good for her, good for me, because I got money, and yeah, we'll work out some kinks and we'll do it again. I'm probably going to make it a monthly thing, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice.
So poker.
That does sound very fun. Although I'm not very good at poker. Like, I don't understand the flop in the river and all that other stuff.
So what we can do, Chester, is you can come down and I will show you how to play poker.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Oh, Gary has a question. Or,
Nope,
no, he
that
doesn't.
touched it. Nope. Let that go.
Really, Gary?
Apparently.
Terrible.
Surprises right now. Anyways.
Anywho,
Chester?
so that was fun. Chester, yeah.
Let's see. So since the last time we actually covered topics, I went to Cedar Point with a couple puppies.
Yay.
Stopped over in Erie to visit Gary and go to Erie Pride Festival
Picnic.
Something like that. And then that brought me to this past Monday where I started my new job. And I have been in training all week and my brain is fried.
Aww.
Aww.
But it's fun. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I think I'm going to do really well with the work that I'm doing. So, yeah.
Well, that's good.
I get tomorrow off, paid, which is awesome.
I get
Sitting there
tomorrow
reading-
off, unpaid.
Oh. Oh.
Let's see. Last night, what did I do last night? Met up with some friends for dinner, and then we went back to their place and played a game called Codenames. Oh my god, it was so much fun.
I I love
So
that game.
you get these little cards, and all the cards have a word on there, and then two people are picked as the captain, and the captain has to get their team to pick certain words, and it's kind of like a, what is it, pyramid, where you can give them clues but you can't say what it is.
Password.
Yeah, password, that's what it is, sorry. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. We played like 4 rounds of that, and then finished up with playing Telestrations. And for those that don't know, Telestrations is sort of like the telephone game mixed with what is that? What is the drawing game where you have to
Pictionary.
Pictionary.
get Pictionary? It's like
So it said win, lose, or draw.
with
Close enough.
well, that's what I was thinking. It's like Pictionary mixed with the telephone game, where you whisper to the person next to you something, and then they pass it on. It's kind of like that, but every other person, you either draw or you try and guess what the drawing is, and then you pass it on. It's a lot of fun, especially when people start getting really dirty with it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then later on, Evan and I are going to go to a Greek festival here in town. Burlick gave us his extra passes because he's up north with his mom at a fairground making margaritas, drinking margaritas. I don't know. I keep getting drunk texts from I'm drunk. Look at the dumb shit I'm doing.
Oh dear.
Nice.
It's been a roller coaster of a week, like lots of stuff going on, and yeah, it's been fun.
Sweet.
Nice.
Gary?
Speaking of roller coasters of weeks, oh good gravy. This past week was rough. For work alone, it was crazy. I clocked over 50 hours, 54 hours. And the reason why I know the amount of time is because we're using a time system software to track how much time we work on projects.
Oh.
And yeah, so I worked like very long 12-hour days, whatever. And then I just had a really shitty Friday because I knew I was going out of town this weekend, and it was going to be a besties like hanging out thing, and yeah, that kind of started to fall apart on Friday, like morning to afternoon, and I found out that I was behind on the project and I wasn't probably going to be able to complete it, and then I made a decision, and I got someone who's the project's for an agreement to only put out part of what is supposed to be the complete thing, and for the holiday for training, and then my boss kind of informed me that I'm not allowed to leave early. So
no.
Yeah, I was not a happy camper, and it just put me in a bad headspace. I haven't been like this in a long time. It's weird. I think you forget sometimes like how things can be if you haven't had something happen for a while, or you haven't had like a similar thing. And so like I just started spiraling. I saw everything falling apart. Nothing was coming together. I hadn't had done laundry yet. I still had to pack. I still had to drive. I got a text from my mom. She had me to go do something for her. I was like, for the love of everything. And normally that's kind of how I feel, like I just kind of get pissy, but this just got bad. And so I just was in a really bad space. So Friday seemed to like take forever to end. And I eventually made it to Pittsburgh on Friday with about 2 minutes to spare. It was just before midnight. And so my besties being my family, that's friends who are family, they stayed up. They had gone out to eat. They had done stuff while they waited for me, and apparently my life to get its shit together. So, so I came down, and then yesterday we went drinking.
No.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. We turned it suddenly into a beer tour, and we went to 5 different brew pubs / breweries, and drank beer. A lot of it. Drank. Yeah, we drank and drank and drank. And so I did not technically drink volumetrically as much as Drew and H did, but that's because we started off with a really great breakfast. So if anybody's ever in Pittsburgh and you go to the South Side, I highly recommend you go to Waffles and Caffeinated. It's Great little place. Usually busy for lunches, breakfast, especially on the weekends. So you can have to kind of get there early or use their app to get a reservation set up, so you can get in line, so to speak. But the food was fucking just as good as it was, if not better, like the first time Heather and Tara and I went. So this time with Drew, Drew and I did the classic thing where we each order shit and then we share half plates between each other.
Oh, I like doing that.
So yeah, we had a good brunch, lunch, whatever. And then left from there and started going to places around Pittsburgh to drink. And then that ended when we finally went to the last place, which was for dinner, and lo and behold, they also make beer there. That wasn't the play. It wasn't a part of the official list. So
Getting drunk on a Saturday.
Yeah, so then we came back.
There's nothing wrong with getting drunk on a Saturday.
Nothing. I'm just commenting nicely.
So
You can't see it, but my eyebrow just raised.
Lots and lots and lots.
Well, when are they supposed to get drunk?
Drinking.
Every day.
Be an alcoholic.
Or they could wait for a once-a-year opportunity where they decide they're going to, drink every minute for an hour.
Yeah.
Call back, go see last week's episode, 429. Get to watch one of the hosts get completely obliterated.
No.
Successfully completing, but also completely obliterated.
That's
a lot
true.
Of completeness.
Yeah,
and it wasn't me.
Oh, and by the way, just so you guys know, someone's been privately chatting with me, and they said that they thought last week's show was a lot of fun. They thought, I think they made the reference to me, Damon, that thought that it was really cute seeing you get tipsy.
No.
And
Tipsy?
then they said something about this being, I thought they referenced like the first time, and I was like, oh no, this is the fifth time. And they were like, their reply, this messages are over several days. They're like, wait, this is the fifth time you've done this? And I was like, okay, for the record, the podcast has done it 5 times. I've done it 4. I wasn't around for the first one. And so they were like, they didn't quite catch on that like the episode number is a literal number. So I was like, because they said how long has the show been around or whatever, and I was like, well, we're in the 400s, and that's about 1 a week. The average. So they're like, oh wow, congrats! Like, yeah.
We're slowly encroaching on 500.
Yeah,
sweet.
So,
Yay!
I think it's time for this. So, Gary, what did you do?
I did something unexpected.
Oh.
This is from a couple weeks ago. There's only one person that knows the whole. Oh, that's not true. I was about to. Let me think about this. There are 2 people outside of myself that know the whole story. One knows 100% because they were there, and the other one knows because they kind of like they wanted all the deets, and they didn't. They knew. I said I was going to talk about it on a podcast, and then they were like, "You didn't talk about it." And I was like, "Well, it was the Power Hour show. We were drinking. Like, I'm not going to talk about it then." So this is the Friday of the picnic. So Chester, while you and Evan are at Cedar Point, I'm running around doing shopping and getting things done in Erie, and I was heading back home, and I noticed that there's a gentleman in a car, sort of an SUV-ish vehicle in the lane to my right, and I noticed that every time I look over, he's kind of parallel with me, and that he's kind of making motions, and I was like, what? Like, nah, I'm seeing things. So I, just kind of brush it off or whatever. And because of traffic, I pull up a little bit ahead, and then he, comes and matches me. He passes. So anyways, he's playing this whole game to kind of stay parallel with me. And at one point, he actually gets ahead. And then I noticed that the taillights are blinking. And I was like, oh, I'm not seeing things. I'm actually being cruised while driving in my hometown.
Wait a second. Ho.
What does the taillights blinking mean?
Oh, you don't know that, Chester?
No. Apparently not.
Am I the only one that knows this?
Probably.
See,
Okay.
I don't specifically know it, but when you said that, I understood what you meant.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I understand where he's going with it too. I've just never heard of it.
Okay, so this kind of is a throwback history lesson moment for the youngins or the unaware. When,
Youngins.
well, when gay men would go cruising publicly, and you would probably go to like what I always refer to as like a pickle park. So you would go to a known place where other men are kind of like going to hook up. Because you have to remember, this is at a time when people were not as out, and you may not feel comfortable going to a bar because you don't, because everybody in town knows which bar's the gay bar or which establishment gay people go to, so to speak.
Right.
So you might have tried to avoid that because you're on the down low, or you're just wanting 7 minutes of fun or whatever. So you would go literally cruising with your vehicle. That's kind of where I think sometimes people get things confused. When I was a teenager in the city of Erie, we had what was called the dock, and it was before they renovated it into what it is now. You would actually go driving downtown, kind of like if you've ever seen American Graffiti, the movie made by George Lucas with Ron Howard in it and Harrison Ford and that, where it's back in like the late 50s, 60s, and they're driving around in their cars. That's literally cruising. Like you were just out having fun with your friends, seeing who else is out.
The origin of the term, essentially.
Correct. So you take that concept and then you turn it and twist it in a way that what happens is it was men who were out in their vehicles and they were looking for other men to hook up with. Now, if you think about the hanky code, that is about a visual like coding system awareness to be able to tell other people what you're into. But hankies can't be seen when you're driving because you're sitting on your ass. So, where the hanky is normally in the back pocket. So instead, you would actually be driving kind of in an area, and you might drive slow, and then you would tap your brake lights kind of as a signaling that you are looking or interested. Now, I don't think it got sophisticated to the point like Morse code shit, like, so many taps meant so many things. If it did, I was never explained that. But to tap your taillights was like kind of as a way as like a signaling. It's kind of another thing that doesn't have to do with gay culture is like if you're driving maybe like on a highway or I don't know somewhere and oncoming traffic is coming towards you and they're flickering their beams, like either their lights are up to the high beam and back. It's usually been kind of a subcode that the POPO or the 5-0 cops, bears, whatever, are nearby. Like there's a speed trap or something like that ahead to be aware. So this is different. This is using the brake lights specifically kind of as like a kind of a signal or whatever. So knowing that from my past, because I'm old, this guy had pulled ahead in well, I'm technically in the passing lane and he's on the main lane or whatever. And so he's on the right and all of a sudden I was like, there's a difference you can tell between like brake lights, like you need to slow your vehicle down, reduce your speed, come to a stop, that kind of stuff is different than like that, like you're just literally taking your foot and tapping the brake pedal to make the brake pedal. So that is what was happening, and that was kind of the more confirmation clue that this guy wanted to hook up apparently. And I was not expecting that at all. It's never happened in my life.
And the outcome was...
Hang on, I'm totally trying to catch up to our chat, which blew up. tap. So I drew
two taps for tail
knowledge. Yeah. I don't know about the two taps for tail thing, but anyways, I made a decision to see where this would go. So I moved over into the right lane and followed into a suburban area, and maybe I'll post on Tumblr everything else that happened.
Oh! You can't just do that.
Oh, but I can.
Don't make me pull this podcast over.
Oh my god!
Got it.
Almost spit out my drink. Got
it.
You sleazy skank.
Oh,
Excuse you, I happen to think that I am doing the world a great service by making sure that individuals have a less stressful day. So,
just so we don't like sit here like all just glaring at Gary, being like, "Go on." Let's go into this.
now whoever thought we'd be doing commercials?
I know I sure as heck didn't.
Being that we're a smaller scale podcast, we don't have advertisers knocking down our door to give us money, and that's okay.
which is why we want to take a moment and tell you about 2 really great ways you can support Cubs Out Loud.
Over the past 9 years, COL has produced hundreds of audio episodes, and now we have matching video episodes for you to enjoy.
This year, we introduced the new COL logo and launched our new merch store over at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud.
Or you can also use the COL merchandise link on our podcast website to pull up the online store.
Here you can take a look at through a range of products, including t-shirts, hats, poker chips, underwear, backpacks, and various other things with the COL logo on them.
And keep an eye out for new things to be added based on your interests and requests.
We typically can be found showing these great items off in the video stream of our shows.
Also, to help with our new format, we're doing YouTube video shows that help create the audio version. We have a GoFundMe campaign underway at gofundme.com/COLstream.
This campaign allows us to afford upgrading the PC that Jeff uses to produce our shows. Plus, a better computer means better quality streams.
And thanks in advance for not only listening to Cubs Out Loud, but helping support the podcasts too.
So, with merchandise, of course, I got my one thing that I have. Whoa. There is a.
Oh, you guys did hear that.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a crotch
got
rocket going by my apartment.
Yeah. And I got my Cubs Out Loud shirt. Gary has a Cubs Out Loud hat on. Are you wearing anything else or just that hat?
What's kind of personal? So I am. Ta-da! I don't think anyone has seen this one yet. I have a different shirt because it's fall. It's sporty sports season. So I got this lightweight gray. I don't know what the model style for this shirt is, but anyways, it's got the white stripes on the sleeve, so it's kind of like sports jersey-ish, big-ish. But yeah, no, it's super comfy. It's like a very soft cottony. It reminds me of like pajama, tops and bottoms or whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, no, it's like one
Jersey
of my
knit.
favorite. Probably. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that shit. So I'm not that kind of gay.
Answer
So-
the question. Okay. All right, so let's go right into this. Gary, what do you got?
A bunch of things to start off with. In-person feedback. This is way overdue, so I do want to apologize. On Growler, Dan from Knoxville, Tennessee, had months ago sent me a message, and in the midst of our chatting back and forth, he said, "I just recognized your face from the COL banner and wanted to say that I enjoy your show."
Aww.
Ding. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So I just happened to remember as we were putting this doc together. Well, it's actually Chester put the doc together, and I was updating it. I was like, "Oh, that's right. I owe somebody like a shout out from a while ago." So I had to go back through all my chats and find which one it was. That said, on Facebook, the following people have recently liked us, so we would like to thank them for liking us: G. Todd Brisbane, David Benjamin Levy, Rodney T. Morton.
I know that guy.
I was gonna say I think some of us know who Rodney is, and then Joseph Alexander Rosas. I think I screwed up his last name. Sorry, Sean Lowe, Lance Grant, Jimmy Pitts. So they are our recent Facebook likes.
Welcome.
And then we have a Facebook comment/post. So regarding COL429, which was Power Hour 5, Patrick Bishop said, "You guys were a riot." I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
This was a separate message. It wasn't tied to a specific episode. Jack Warbus said in a message, "Thank you for the entertainment while on a road trip last week. My husband had a couple of podcasts saved up, and we listened to the both on the road. I think it means both of them. I am now hooked." And then Chester and I replied back. Chester said, "That is awesome to hear, Jack. We're glad you are enjoying the show. Thank you for the feedback. And don't hesitate to let us know a topic you'd like to hear about or any thoughts on past shows you might have." And I said, "Aw, thanks for letting us know, Jack. We're happy to have provided you with entertainment for your recent road trip. Welcome to the COL community."
Yay!
Welcome to the entourage. Damon, what's been going on over in YouTube?
So we have a new subscriber, Benjamin Benton, excuse me. I was about to say Benjamin Button, and that didn't quite work. Benjamin Benton, who I think we all know, out of Indy. Hi. And then we had a couple of comments on the COL428. It's a mystery. RJ, Randy Stratton, said, "Mama Gary is wearing her hangover sunglasses. Just kidding. Hugs too." Yeah. Yes, he was. Well, he wasn't wearing his hangover glasses. I
had a thing going on. I'm not going to explain it. I just want people to be able to see.
Well, you kind of explained it during the show. Because I think you did mention the reason why you were wearing the sunglasses.
Well, yeah, it was sort of related to the fact that I hadn't been to bed yet.
Yep.
Basically. And then on COL429, the Power Hour, RJ said, "Hot mess, and I'm only 13 minutes in, oi." And then huh? Yeah.
Chester, did you say
and
something?
then
Nothing. I was giggling at it.
Oh.
And then Mike A said, "Happy belated birthday, Jeff."
Wow.
And Damon, you were so cute when you're tipsy. Thanks. You guys seem like so much fun. Would love to hang out and have a drink with you guys sometimes. Bear hugs. Aw.
Just make sure Damon doesn't have too many.
Well,
drinks.
No. So here's the thing, because someone that this is super shady, and I'm going to apologize in advance for it. Someone that Damon and I both know said to me they thought it was really interesting to see Damon drunk, and now we both kind of know that Damon is a happy singing drunk. So I was like, yeah, that is interesting, because I don't think I've ever seen you drunk. Like, I might have seen you drink, but this was different.
Yeah.
So
I will explain more after the show, but I usually don't let myself get that far. And I think I did it for the show, and then I instantly.
I did it for the show. It's all for the show.
It's okay, Damon. I feel you. I am the same.
Yeah. So
while I don't mind drinking, I usually cut myself off pretty early on.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, fuck it, why not?
Yeah. And I think I was, well, anyway, I'll talk more about it later.
So Damon's the happy singy drunk, and we've also found out that Chester is the belligerent drunk.
Belligerent.
Anywho.
Evan, take off your shirt!
Well, that's because he was downstairs, and I wanted to make sure he heard me.
Uh-huh.
Anywho.
Yeah. You're quite demanding when you're drunk. I guess I'll put it that way. Some might say your aggressive side comes out when you've been drinking. I don't know. I have to go find. Now I need to go find.
Aggressively complimenting her.
I need to. Okay, Aja, whatever. No, I feel like I need to find Dozer and Burlick and others to confirm my theory that you are an aggressive drunk. But anyways,
Anywho.
not abusive, just bit dominant.
Fair enough.
So Chester, how about Twitter and Tumblr?
We have 3 new followers on Twitter. We have Crazied89.
I think it's
I don't even know.
Ed, technically.
Crazy Ed? Okay. TMC Curdy Kelso. And then LBGT_jobs. That is based in Berlin, but after I went through their feed, it looks like they are worldwide. And they promote LGBT related jobs.
Huh.
Neat.
So if you're looking for something, might want to give them a look. We received a Twitter message from GBearTrucker65 listening to at Cubs Out Loud podcast episode 428. It's a mystery. Have any of you guys been to Atwood's Campground? And then he said, I give it 5 bear emojis.
I have not, and I don't think has anyone else.
Just which one is the Woods? Because I've been to one in Canada.
This one's in
but I think that one's
Pennsylvania.
Pocono Mountains.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, the one I think you're talking about, Chester, is the Point, which is at Turkey Point.
The Point
in Ontario, which is literally straight north of Erie. Like if they ever did it, which I don't know if they will, they could put a goddamn ferry boat like from Erie up to Canada as opposed to going all the way over to Niagara Falls and around. Because it's the one campground I went to many years ago. I think before I even started working for Roseland. It was in the first couple seasons that they opened, and I had gone there for a weekend. It's beautiful up there. If anybody gets a chance, I mean, I haven't been in years, but that region, interestingly, weird factoid note, is the only place in the world outside of the East Coast, North South Carolina region that has Carolina pines. So if you've ever seen Carolina pines, they're not like redwoods, but they're very tall, very slender. It's very like nature photographic. They had some trails and stuff, and it was beautiful. I really liked it up there. So yeah, that one is called the Point, and then this one. See, this is what confuses me because this one says Woods Campground. I don't know if it's the Woods, which is the one I know of where Bear City 3 was filmed at, which is over like in the Allentown area, I think. Something. Well, I don't know if that's it or if it's the one.
According to this Twitter. According to this Twitter, it is in the Poconos.
Yeah.
It says Pocono Mountains, PA, thewoods.camp is their website address.
Oh, nice.
I'll have to
it's possible.
Yeah, but the Poconos are like north. At least I think. I don't know. I don't know the geography of my own state, obviously. Yeah, that's the place I'm thinking of. Okay. Never mind. Anyways.
Nice. Continuing.
Oh.
So
I was looking at the Twitter.
Now it's time for kind of like a prelude to the topic.
No, we still have Tumblr followers.
I know, this is a prelude to it.
Oh.
We have Darren M71, Were Hunter, which I'm sure some of us know. ER Tony Saro. Drinking beers again alone.
Aww.
Jamie L69, Rub the Belly, and Tenacious LI. Tenacious Lee. I'm gonna take a gander. That's what that is.
Oh, I know who you are. Were Hunter. I know who Were Hunter is.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Hey, guess what? It's time for a topic.
Nice.
That's right, folks. We're getting to something that's another really casual topic. Another TTO, this, that, or other Tumblr editions. Topic today is Labor Day, celebrating the men who work. We've got 3 primary topics, which actually is a revisit to a previous episode. I can't remember the episode number. Which is blue collar, white collar, and uniform. And then an audible topic of sports. And Chester also did a little quick poll. But let's start off with the fun stuff, the tumblers. So let's go with the blue collar. I'm going to start off with a nice, solid, chubby guy. Like, he's one of those guys with the a belly which looks like it would be more solid than fluffy. If that makes any sense. And it's nice round. And he's got a cigar, hard hat, and like a thing. And he's shirtless. Otherwise, he just says the best on. And he
Nice.
looks kind of sweaty. So.
He looks kind of sweaty. It's a good-looking cigar. He looks maybe not. Huh.
By the way, for all those people who are, if you're watching on YouTube, you want to get in the chat because we'll be linking it there. Also, after the show, and for all you who are listening on the podcast feed, go to cubsoutloud.com, find the post. Well, all the links there to all of these posts. So.
Yep.
So cigar work is what I said. Damon?
Sweet. So mine is Lumberwolf. And essentially I'm taking these guys as lumberjacks. I doubt they actually really are.
That's
but
okay.
the premise being that they're, got their chainsaws and their axes and their jeans and plaid shirts, and they are lumberjacks, and they're okay.
And they're okay.
Yeah.
Something tells me okay is not good enough.
True. But yeah, nice. I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, it's not actual. Like, I don't doubt they're actual lumberjacks, but it's a good picture.
Lumberjack look.
Pictures.
It's fine.
There's several.
They're highly manicured
Yeah.
lumberjacks.
True.
Yes. So very awesome. Very awesome. Yeah. Good show. Good job. Good ones. All right. Chester.
So mine is, I titled it Beautiful Cock, and it is a guy laying on the bed, and he is in a high-vis vest and a jock and a hard hat and a hard cock.
Wow.
That
He
is.
looks like he does a lot of work. Maybe he needs
I
to rest. Maybe he needs to relax for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks like the type of guy who you'd pull over and help him relax in a subdivision.
Wait, do I have it with me? Oh, I think I just might have happened to have packed this.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you on the audio show, it's Gary's Shade fan.
Mm-hmm.
Shade.
It's like my superhero weapon. Deflect shit like that. Anyways.
Gary, how about you?
Mine is called Another Day at Work, and this is a Tumblr account that I follow. I don't know how to pronounce it though, because it's one word. It's Kanuele.
Canoodle?
I don't know if it's Canuel.
I'm
Canel.
really not paying attention to what it says. I'm more.
Right. So, anyways, if I recall correctly, this gentleman's husband is actually the photographer, and he's always the subject matter. And it's been all sorts of different, like, various things. And this one's a little unique. Apparently, this is at a work site. I'm not quite sure why. I'm stretching the category definition a little bit on this one because it's a earth mover that he's standing next to that he's derobing, and his clothes by no means match the job of being the operator of said machinery, in my opinion.
Nice.
He looks like he just got done playing, like, I don't know, rugby or something-ish. But
Shorts are too long for rugby.
This guy's cock is massive.
Yes.
Just
yes, it is.
putting it out there, because I'm scrolling through the rest of these pictures and I'm like, good lord, is that thick?
and now you know why I follow. Sometimes you have to give recognition, where it's due.
Yeah. Wow. He's definitely got an earth mover.
Oh.
Nice.
If Damon gets points for that.
You know, I'm pretty sure that you've linked to this before.
To him?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like you used him in one of your Tumblr links or something.
He has.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Different picture,
Yes.
same guy. That's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Because
Yeah.
I'll admit, my next 3 I got all from the same Tumblr account and all feature the same person, which I kind of cheated with. Because
That's
I was
okay.
like, I don't want to like scroll through all this shit because I'm not finding what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna try to go to a good source. Moving on into the white collar, the suit and tie. When you think of suit and tie and a sexy man, I don't know about you, but I think of one of our favorite people, Fox Bear.
Oh yes.
Chess, the hot stuff. This is one that I'm blogging for the picture, not the text, because of the weird thing that happened with this specific photo. But the photo itself, he's in his shirt and tie. His pants are down to his knees, and he's wearing a jock strap, which has it must be a leather jock strap.
It is a leather jock strap.
Because part of it has buckles on it, so, which is kind of interesting. But suit and tie, it's chess. Probably one of the sexiest lawyers I know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like I was intentionally like I didn't want to do I didn't want to go to chess because one, I would probably just start finding all his pictures and just, getting distracted and never get what I wanted to get done. And two, I was like, well, I like his look and that's a given. So I wanted to try to find something else, but that's okay. I'm totally fine with that because you know what? Chess has some great pictures of him in his white collar suit and tie kind of look, and hell, he's been on the show before, kind of from his office.
Just to say, there was one episode where we completely praised him. The only reason why I'm using these is because I was lazy and I knew he would have some that fit the topics. So that's one reason why. Fine. I think he's sexy. Anyways, moving on.
I think we all
disclaimer.
In some ways, I think we all in one shape or another think he's sexy.
Yes. There's not a doubt about that. I don't think there's any complaints. I will say this, of all the people that we know, this one person basically fits all the categories, basically, that we've got going on. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, my picture is, I titled it Daddy Unsuiting. It was interesting that I found it, but it's a nice looking daddy bear taking his suit off after a long day of work and giving us a show.
Very nice.
Yeah. I want to point out that he is wearing tighty whities. And I have a thing for tighty whities.
Nice.
I don't know why. It's something. But it only applies to certain types of men that are very. What do I want to say?
Hirsute? Burly?
No, no. Men that are more in the dominant type of position. I don't know why. Very daddy imagery.
So it kind of adds to it. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super fucking hot. This guy is, and with his pierced nipple, his nipple play, his rubbing his belly, his nice beard, it's hitting a lot of buttons. Like this would be who I would follow if he were at work. I'd follow him into the bathroom. Like I'm just because all this hits so many fucking buttons for me. So yeah.
Chester?
So mine is Daddy teasing me for when he gets home. And it's a video
Uh-oh.
of a gentleman
He actually gave us video.
Play with himself. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen this video. Oh my god, I love this guy.
So have about 5,000 other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I posted this before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
before,
I'm the one that I reblogged it from you.
Yeah, but it's probably one of my all-time favorite vids on Tumblr ever.
Yeah.
Like
it's. I think what I like most about it is the fact that it's very like naughty. Like I'm in a bathroom, I've got headphones in, and I'm being as quiet as possible, and I'm just gonna sit here and slowly stroke.
Yeah.
Well, he's got one earbud in.
Yeah. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Good either way.
But as we're all watching the video.
I'm not watching it now. I can't watch it now. I'm not in a space and a place where I can. So let's just...
Yeah, it's good. All right, Gary.
Yeah, so mine is titled Decided to Play with a Remote Camera. It's a series of photos. And
oh, I remember Sky. Go ahead.
Did you say Sky or this
guy? I remember this guy. I've seen his pictures before.
Like, his name's Sky? he's a very handsome looking guy. His hair's cut super short. He's got glasses and a red beard, so that's like checking a whole bunch of boxes for people.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently is done with the workday, is my guess, because through the series of photos, he goes from shirt, tie, dress pants to less.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm just gonna say for the record, like if I end up in a relationship with somebody and they want to surprise me with this at home, that's perfectly acceptable.
Such a cute redhead.
Yeah.
Like
he can drain my soul anytime. Yeah, nice cock there too.
Yes.
Balls.
Yes.
Both of them.
I'm both in my mouth.
I think his glasses kind of look like mine too.
He's got a nice there's a lot of again buttons being pressed with this series. All right. Shall we move on to uniform?
Yes. I call this Foxy Patrol. Now, the first couple of pictures aren't really it. It's more of some of the later pictures. But Chess is in his, I don't know what type of uniform that is. But it's like some sort of police-ish something uniform. And then later on, we've got Cubses and Tony and him, both in similar uniforms. Different color shirts, but...
Yep.
Smoking a cigar.
Yep. I've... This wasn't... I don't know when this was.
That was Hellfire, I think.
Okay.
I think it was in Chicago. I think there was an actual event.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just for the record, these two probably already know this, how I feel about this. If y'all want to get dressed up like that again, and have somebody direct some filming, or need assistance, mock play being arrested.
Yes. Arrest me, frisk me. Yeah.
Plenty of things you can do.
Yeah.
Good God. Lord of mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, that's what I don't think I've heard in quite some time.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of Lord have mercy. Dang.
So I did I went the fireman route. So this is my fire bear. Sexy guy in the fireman's uniform, but no shirt. And
I don't think he's wearing anything but the fire jacket and fire pants, and just has the helmet in his hands.
And the boots.
Turnout gear.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think about this because I know someone who's done volunteer. I probably know actually a number of people that have done volunteer fire department work. I'm thinking this is purely for the photo shoot because I'm gonna say they would at least be wearing some undergarments, like layers to absorb sweat and different stuff like that. So I'm not critiquing the authenticity. I just think it's one of those lines where it's kind of like fantasy is really good.
But yeah, sexy guy, blondish bear.
They never said anything about these being authentic pictures.
Well, you know.
Oh.
Just don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. That's all.
Understandable.
Because I'm sorry, if this man like showed up on scene and there was a fire, I'd be like, yeah. So, you need help with your hose?
Yeah. Need help with your hose. You can put out this fire. I'm burning up.
Burning up. Yeah.
Nice.
Chester. Oh. Yeah.
So mine is, I've actually got two of them.
I saw.
There's a reason why. The first one is Damo Bear in scouting uniform. And it's a series of GIFs where he is laying on a inflatable air mattress poolside.
You bastard.
And he his clothes happen to come off, and there's some masturbation going on, and yeah, Damon, stop watching it.
Sorry, too late.
Can I
He's
go
gone.
to that
You've
scout
lost
camp?
him.
Yeah,
He's already over on the dark side.
I would love to go to that scout camp with you. Well, yeah, Jeff, you and I can go to the scout camp. J-Mo will be the scoutmaster.
I'll wear a Cub Scout uniform too.
There you go. Can you help me pitch a tent?
Too late. Already been done. I'm grateful. Many times on your behalf.
So I also have a second one, and the reason why I threw this one in here is because it's not exactly traditional uniform. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's we've linked it before, or I've linked it before. It's the Onyx brothers in Los Angeles, and Pup Beacon is in the background of this photo, and it's his Onyx brothers, and they are all dressed scantily in Army uniform, leather realness. I don't know how else to put it.
I almost picked this one. Like I opened a whole bunch of them. This was one of the ones I picked because I love the idea behind the whole, like, yeah, they're Army and they're, you know, uniforms and everything, but then I was like, oh, it's awesome. It's a great picture. I love this picture.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I threw it in here, because it's not really a uniform, but it is pushing all those uniform buttons.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of buttons being pushed on this one. Definitely.
Gary.
Yeah, sorry. So this one is titled "Got Risky, Found a Spot Off the Road in Between Two Houses." I probably have already, like, maybe picked from Steel Rules before. He had a Tumblr account, and then I think he closed it, and then he came back this year. I'm not sure if it's one of those situations, like, where, you know, they got a boyfriend or a partner, or I don't know, something happened. And, but... he doesn't do these as much anymore. These are from when he's working. I believe he's in Canada. He does something in which he works out in the field, so he has to wear like the high vis, like vests or shirts and that kind of stuff. But for a little while, he was being really naughty, and he was going out and doing solo stuff well dressed. So he would pull off on the side of the road, different things. So this is a video of him doing that. So I was trying to look for something that made it more obvious that he was working, quote unquote, as opposed to just maybe being dressed. So this is one of those things. But yeah, he's one of those, like, if I met him in real life, I'd probably get like all like stupid, just quiet. You know what I mean? Like when you meet someone, be like, hi.
Yeah.
So he's adorable. Like, just he kind of reminds me of West Cub out in San Diego. Like these guys that are just, they're super cute and nice and polite and have a nice smile and all that jazz. So yeah.
Nice.
Moving on into our honorable mentions in the category of sports. Are you ready for some football? Strange thing. Same people before. We got Tony and Jess. Jess is the coach. Tony is the player. Wouldn't that be an interesting scene to watch?
Hold on.
Couple extra shots afterwards. I'm not sure who the other two people are, but
I could probably tell you. Links at
wrestling and sumo, I think, is the kind of the theme on the other two.
Actually, that is Walt and his name just left my head. But Walt was a part of he was doing a class on
it was Impact.
Impact.
Well, it says rough body play.
Rough body play
title.
So yeah, it was the the shorter Asian guy whose name is literally escaping me right now. It was his demo bottom for his class, for Walt's class. So yeah,
the guy on the left is actually wearing a jockstrap. So.
Yes.
I did just one of the ones. All I saw was the front, so I'm like, is that like supposed to be like sumo themed or something? No, it's just a jockstrap. Anyway, with that, on Damon, what do you got? Oh no, you don't have anything for this category.
Well, I was working. I didn't have.
That's okay.
Yeah. I thought I have one, but if I can find it again.
Okay. Well, we'll skip you for now, Chester.
Mine I just titled Sports Kit because I'm not entirely clear on what sports they're trying to portray. I'm pretty sure it's football, but the one guy has on hip pads that have rugby logos on them, so that's what threw me off. But anyway, it is two big bearish guys. It kind of looks like they're in a locker room. They're wearing. One guy's got on football pads, the other guy's in a football jersey and a jock, and yeah, it looks like some naughty stuff is about to happen between them.
Or some really good stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of more how you look at that, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, naughty doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad.
Well, no, that's true. I guess I out of my experience, I always presume naughty is negative or bad. So if this isn't a workplace context, then yes, technically this is probably breaking some rules that Damon would not want to have to like deal with in his job as far as like safety and things. But yeah.
Nice. Your guys' break was 5 minutes ago. Over 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Let me help you finish that up.
Yeah, basically. I was doing far.
All right. Due to a quick perusal and preparation, weirdly, I don't have a lot of stuff about people sports, quote unquote, but this was close enough as far as I'm concerned. It's called Joystick, and this gentleman is wearing an official NFL jersey. it is technically filmed backwards, but the caption was playing Xbox, but another joystick got my attention. So yeah.
Flashbacks to Strip
Drew.
Nintendo.
I've never played Strip Nintendo. I don't know how
Oh
you
my
play
God.
Strip Nintendo. Apparently, I'm gonna have to like investigate that today and ask Drew what the story is there. But
Woof.
I'm sure there's like some
Yeah.
party game or something where it's versus and whoever loses a piece of clothing or something.
Strip.
You could
I
do a
don't know.
strip with a lot of things.
I guess you could. That was
I
one of
mean,
the things
we-
people were like,
We were kind of doing this strip power hour.
okay, yeah.
Once you hit
I
your
can't
age, you
disagree with
lost
that.
a piece of clothing. It just happened to be your shirt every time, but still. Anyway.
True, very true.
so I didn't find what I was looking for in regards to sports, but I do have one that I'm going to add as an honorable mention because I want to,
But
Add
general
it.
honorable mention.
and I'm going to try to do it really quickly.
Let me actually spell
So-
honorable correctly, but that's okay.
Oh, let's see. What the hell? And
Google Docs is hard.
yes.
Sometimes it is, especially when the shit moves around on you and you're not expecting it.
So there.
So, non-sporty honorable mention. What do you got?
So it's a farmer. Probably not really, but it's one of my favorite guys, Mr. Ghost Bear. And yeah, doing some mowing, and he wants some guys to help him clean up because he's all sweaty and dirty from mowing the lawn. And he's got some overalls on and not much else. Well, there's a hat, but you know.
Yeah. So for the record, if people don't know, Ghost Bear actually works in Texas. I'm not quite sure where in Texas, but he has a ranch with his husband, and they actually rent a room or part of their place as like a Airbnb style thing.
Oh.
It's been in a couple of his posts. There's been references to it. So there's a part of me that's like, I would love to go visit, and not so much, because the obvious, but nor because I'm highly supportive of that kind of stuff. If those that don't know, there is a website, and last I knew about a year or so ago, it's still in operation, called Purple Roofs, and it's an LGBT based like kind of B&B website. So if you're traveling and you want to be supportive of the community, type thing, you can check that out. So that comes from back in my campground days. I found out about like being part of that thing. So I can't remember where in Texas. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, you kind of need to be near where I plan on being if I'm going to stay. But unless for some reason I'm just going to take a random vacation.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Also, Drew clarified it was Street Fighter.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Loser loses a piece of clothing. That okay, now that makes sense. Usually in especially in a game where there's quick rounds, quote unquote. Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Lesbian invasion.
Oh, I'm having a lesbian invasion apparently.
Hello.
Hi, lesbians.
Welcome to the show. We're
can't
looking
really-
at Dick.
I don't- I'm not saying that. I can't get the thing there. Well, you guys can't see. That's the preview. I can't make it any bigger, but
You're over
yeah.
Hi.
Those would be my besties and my host, so we're kind of wrapping up
there.
ish. We're getting to the end of the show,
Good,
so
I'm cooking breakfast, so.
Sweet.
yes. Okay.
So Chester, you put up a quick poll regarding this category.
I did.
Tell us what the poll was about and what your results were.
Well, I asked everybody to give their thoughts on if clothing helps pique your interest in a man. And then I asked, blue collar, white collar, or uniform. And then I also followed it up with, why does that turn you on? Our friend Eric Myers had said boots because it shows masculinity. Tyler Stillwell, while he didn't make a comment other than he put a sticker in a reply, I know for a fact he absolutely loves a man in a suit and tie.
Mm-hmm.
Basically along the same reasons why most people do, is because it shows power and authority, and he's very submissive. So when he sees a man in a suit and tie, he's all about that. Drew said blue collar, the illusion / idea of a person who is a hard worker, not afraid to get dirty, mechanically inclined, caretaker. And then he said the ability to build, create, repair, take of our own. I find it to be a sexy trait. RJ.
Sorry, I was just going to say real quick. It was interesting. Drew was asking me about what title you would give a person who has all those like trade skills. And we kind of struggled on it. And it was funny because we were talking about the difference between caretaker and caregiver, and how I think a lot of people think of like caretaker as the same thing as a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of like someone's health or that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So if anybody out there like can think of a better thing, by all means, like comment and let us know, because I still think we might be missing the word.
Here's the thing is, well, everybody knows that I don't like gender conformity, but this is one of those times where it's hard for me to not imagine somebody masculine doing these types of things. While I'm very aware that women can do them too, and women can be a blue collar and a trade worker, I get that. But I think in this context, because we're sexualizing it, I think it's okay to say that that puts out a sense of masculinity about them. That they're good with their hands.
If they're good with their hands when screwing a table, they may be good with their hands while screwing a man.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Yeah, so I think I mean I got what he was doing, because he was trying to figure out as he was writing the response. He was asking me like, "What do you use as that word?" And I was like, "Oh," but it was funny because when we described it, I was like, "Oh, this makes me think of like the Great Gatsby era, like where you had an estate or grounds, and so you had a person, and their title was kind of caretaker, so they were the mechanic, and they took care of things in the home, and so they weren't necessarily a butler or they were a part of a broader like servant category, right?" But they did a lot of different things, and so but it's interesting you talk about the masculinity factor, Chester, because I agree with that to a point. If a cisgendered or a woman, so to speak, was to do it, I would see her as being very what we call butch. You know what I mean? Like probably shorter hair and not really having any like overt or chosen feminine attributes about her. Do you know what I mean? So like she'd be wearing probably overalls or whatever, you know, and like no problem being a grease monkey, you know, just diving in and getting done what needs to be done. So kind of reminding me of actually a server we had yesterday at the one brewery that we were at here. By the way, Chester, if you ever get a chance to go to Pittsburgh, and that you might really want to check out, there's one here called Church Brew Works. It's literally a church that's been renovated over into a brew pub place. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. They looked really cool.
So our server was there. She was so cute, but definitely like, to me, right down the middle of that, you know, kind of gender expression line. Like she, you know, is lesbian. She owned it, but we kind of talked. We had a really great time talking to her. But it was funny because I'm going to say something out of turn. A certain member of our party saw her from behind and thought she was a cute boy until she turned around. So, and they was like, "Oh, it's a girl." So, but no, it was a really, really good time. But that's what I'm thinking of, you know, kind of like that. I don't know, more.
I think this could possibly turn into an entire show topic, but I think what it is at the core of this, when we're talking about gender and gender conformity, is, while we're very aware that anyone can do these jobs, we're just so used to not seeing certain people do them. We are used to seeing a very masculine, macho type of man doing that job.
Right.
So when we see a woman do it, it's almost as if it's out of place or out of context. It doesn't necessarily mean that we disagree with it. It's just we're not used to seeing it. It's the same thing like when you see a male nurse. We're just not used to seeing it.
Still.
Yeah, which is kind of scary that it's still that way.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
I think it's because of our history, because of the humankind misogynist history, where we've always had like the man does all these dirty,
The man does the work.
masculine job, while the woman stays in the kitchen, cleans, and is the nurse, is never the doctor, etc. So
Yeah.
It simply comes down to representation and how we are brought up. If there's more representation when we were younger for those different types of stereotypes to not occur or to occur,
right.
When we get older and see them out in the public, we're not as fazed by it.
Right. No, I completely agree with you. It's funny how that really gets into your brain, like in your synapses or whatever, kind of get like etched in like stone or whatever about certain things. Like I was just like, oh yeah, like see, to me, a male nurse versus a female nurse is kind of now neutral. Like sure, when I was growing up, my mom was an RN, so like that was kind of stereotypical for like that, up to the 60s, 70s, that it was pretty much women were nurses, but that slowly changed over time. But for me, when I think about florist, I think I would do a double take if I walked into a floral shop and it was a woman, like that was like the owner and the florist. Because for me, all the florists I know are men. So it's just kind of one of those things I think that plays itself out. And when it comes to in terms of what your poll was about, Chester, about what people see, kind of a what they wear, representation type of stuff. Yeah, I think everyone was kind of on the same thing. Each individual person has their own, I guess, mental image or vision or whatever of what that is. But I think there's a lot of
word association sort of things too. Like
crossover.
When you're talking about specific jobs, like when you think nurse, do you immediately come up with an image of a woman, or do you immediately come up with a picture of a man? So it's all a perception thing, and yeah, it's more about nurture.
See, I agree with you. I think it's funny. I just paid attention to the chat. So Sprinkle Bear says, "I look great in scrubs, y'all," and then Chester apparently is emphatically in agreement with this.
Yes.
He looks good in scrubs. I'm gonna be honest. I have a thing for scrubs. I dated an EMT and a physician. They both wore scrubs, and they'd come home from work in their scrubs, and I'd be all about it.
I agree with you. I'm on the same page, but I will say this. I think scrubs are sexy pretty much on almost anybody. It's just something about that look, at least for me, and I don't know if it's like the easy access issue.
I think that's what it is. It's the easy access of it. But if I see somebody in sweatpants, I don't have that same reaction.
All right, so
Scrubs, you have a job. You're sexy. I want to take those off. Sweatpants, you look lazy, and oh my God, what are you doing?
You look like Walmart dollar store. Anyways, no. The reality is, I think it's about kind of like not only like what it is, but also kind of your build a little bit. Like it's funny how summer comes around every year or spring, and then I see these posts about thank God the weather has changed and men who wear tight gym shorts, like running shorts or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And like we get to fall, and people are like, plaid flannel shirts are back. You know what I mean? Like and I mean just. There's things that kind of like catch your attention or whatever, and scrubs are one of those things consistently for me that are just it's a thing. It's not maybe necessarily a fetish, but it's right up there. And I know guys like there are some people on Tumblr. There are some people on Tumblr I have specifically followed because they work in the medical field, and they may have only once or a handful of times posted selfies or some vids of them at work, and I'm like, I need to know where you work. Like, I will come visit you on a break. Anyways.
I hurt myself.
Anyway,
you help me.
Let's continue with Chester's poll. Nice. What other responses did you get, Chester?
RJ had agreed with Andrew's comment about gentleman that we were talking about. Aaron Moberg had said, I think of me. I think for me. It's the exchange of the masculinity representative of that archetype being an object of my pleasure, subjected to my desires.
Yeah.
And then Greg Ballard from Men of the Den had just responded with, yes.
Yeah, that cracked me up. That came up like in the middle of the night, and I had to add it before we started the show. And I was like, okay.
Yes.
Explica, por favor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
He just wanted to give an affirmation, like an agreement. Yes, that was the end of it. Okay.
All right. And with that, we're almost wrapping up the show, but we got a few links. I'm going to link to one of the RPG shows that I watch, which is Shield of Tomorrow, which is a Star Trek RPG show on Project Alpha. I believe you can watch an episode on YouTube or something on the Geek and Sundry channel, but it's an RPG show. I just love all the RPG shows.
Let me have to check that one out.
It's
so
on
me,
Alpha, so it's primarily on Alpha, I think, projectalpha.com. But I think you get like 30 days free or something, and then it's like $5 a month or something. Subscription service, but it's awesome. They've got an iPhone app. I think they might have an Android app too. I don't know. But you can watch it online too. So sign in with Facebook. It's probably the easiest way to do it. So, anyways, and they got a lot of nerdy shit and Critical Roles on there and tabletop and. It's basically Nerdist and Geek and Sundry teamed up to create this kind of pay subscription show, which is awesome.
Cool.
Damon?
So on my Facebook earlier this week, a friend of mine posted, and someone is listening to it right now. Someone posted about an article about this guy Taylor Davis, who is a
baseball player.
Baseball player. Sorry, I'm distracted. Anyway, he's actually a catcher, and essentially, the article pretty much says that he knows where all the cameras are in the ballpark, and he does this all the time. So he literally finds a camera and just looks at it. And it's a funny video. And as I was telling the guys earlier, I watched this at work and I had it on mute. No, I didn't have it on mute, but when I was watching it just now, before we started the show, I had it on mute, and it gets kind of creepy if you don't listen to the music, because it's like, why are you staring at me? But he's a cute Cub, because he's the Iowa Cubs, and he's a catcher, so that's a plus bonus.
All right, the signing the baseball one is the one that starts to make it look creepy.
Yeah.
Because from then on, like, all of these edited shots are about him knowing that the camera is on him.
Yeah.
Almost did a, like, why are you looking at me kind of.
Yeah. I think I'm taking it in the way that he's meaning this to look.
Wow.
There's one point where one of his teammates are sitting there just looking at the camera, and their faces are right next to each other, and he turns to the guy, and the guy just goes,
yeah.
No actual kisses, but closed. I'm taking it more in the way that I think it was meant to be taken, which is like, it's supposed to kind of be that creepy thing, but it's always a fun thing. Like right at the beginning, he does the first one where he just looks at the camera and then smiles. And he's just be like, I know where you are. And I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of it's just a really good one. And then, and also he's kind of cute. So there you go.
When you say he's a Cub, he's not kidding.
Okay, just for the record, I'm not going to say kinda. He is cute. Like, he's For me, I'm just like, wow, you're adorbs, and you look like a cute little blondish, reddish, furry son of a bitch.
Yeah,
So
the only question is to actually, for him to actually be a cub, does he have the homosexual trait?
Mm. Mm.
I like when he's doing the signing and he looks at the camera in the middle of the signing, and then the kids look.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. He's fun. It's a fun video. So there you go.
Drew needs to excuse himself. I guess I know who just went into the bathroom here at the house.
Hey!
What are you like? Why are you like? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I have no idea what's happening in this house. For the record, in the last like 3 minutes while we were talking, they were all down in the kitchen, which is right below the office here, singing and carrying on. So I've got nothing. I feel like I'm suddenly living in the Muppet Show. Yep, just random whatevers are happening in my immediate whatever.
Chester, how about you?
Moving on. I linked to a article for a sneak peek of the new Will and Grace reboot that's coming up. And I'm excited for it because it was one of my favorite shows.
Yay.
I'm hoping that the show
doesn't suck.
Well, I think the show will be good and fun. I just hope it doesn't get panned. That people become hypercritical of it because they're going to do this weird bullshit about they were gone for 11 years and now they're back and, they're just not as fresh or, don't they look old? You know what I mean? I don't have time for any of that. I want them to have a good time. All 4 of the principal main actors are genuinely happy. Notably, they've changed. Deborah, Eric, look a little older. Megan definitely looks older, but I think part of that is that she's lost weight.
Yeah.
So, and Sean, I don't know. He's got that weird gay fountain of youth serum shit in Hollywood, that Neil Patrick Harris and the other gays have apparently. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm super excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that it is just as successful because I think they're all pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and I think that what people need to do when they watch this show is take it as the show is and just kind of like the first couple of episodes, just sit back, relax, and ask yourself at the end of the show, did you enjoy yourself? Don't really analyze the whole thing or anything. Just kind of take it in, and then you should be able to realize that despite maybe some faults, if there is any, it's still a good show. So I didn't really watch it because I'm not a comedy person. I'd probably be hiding through most of the episodes, so there's no point in me watching. But I know a lot of people love the show, and I just think it's like, hey, it's back. Let me sit back, watch, enjoy, and fuck the critics because the critics are just going to be there like, what's wrong with this show?
Well, I will say this: if it's shitty, it deserves the criticism for being shitty. But NBC cannot afford to fuck this up. Like the television, especially main channel broadcast television, not cable, is really hurting. The pay standalone app platforms now, Amazon, Netflix, I mean, even Hulu, and the rest of them, Disney, they're all creating their own stuff. They're like, they found a whole new market. It's changing the landscape. And I think they realize like you can't kind of screw around, which is a sort of interesting why they're going back to old material.
Yeah.
Old subjects. And we're in this weird sweet spot right now. I mean, look at us. Like, we are part of the demographic that has control over the economy right now because, comics are huge, science fiction, fantasy, we've kind of got the dollars that are paying for all the stuff that's going out there. Because, when I was half my age, I didn't know that all this stuff was going to be coming around. There would be this whole resurgence of like nerd fantasy, craze that what it is now. It's driving a lot of stuff. So I think they're like, hey, you know what? Let's look at our demographic. This was huge, over a decade ago. If we bring it back, we could probably, not only be successful with it, but also obviously make money. So I hope for that case that it really does happen that way, because I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm supposedly they're not bringing back, but they're going to continue the whole guest star, like, sub aspect that the show is known for, that people keep popping up and appearing and stuff. So, rumor has it Babs might make an appearance.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, because now the auntie's there. It's like if it's almost like shit. What's another show? I can't think of it, but it's almost kind of like if anybody who's anybody, you'll appear, type thing. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. So awesome pick, Chester. I'm super excited.
How about you, Gary? What's your pick?
Oh yeah, sorry. So I happened to come across this online because it was sort of in my YouTube recommended feed, and it cracks me up to no end. So if you're not familiar, there's a show called Adam Ruins Everything, and it's from a comedian who actually has crossed over, interestingly, into the television medium with this this fact-based show called Adam Ruins Everything. He also has a podcast. Now, I don't see his television show because I don't have cable, and it's on True TV, I think, is the channel he's on.
I think you can. I think there's an online way of watching it. Again, subscription model, but still.
Yeah. So, but he has a podcast where he expands on the topics that he discusses on the show. What happens is he has experts come in, and usually the expert is there as a reference point, kind of like like a reference in a dissertation paper or whatever. And they're there, and it's like they're maybe 1 to 3 minutes at most. And Adam says he sometimes really enjoys the person or their perspective or whatever, but because they can't focus on them, hence he does the audio podcast where he does like a good half hour to an hour or so interview, and they expound or discuss further whatever that little thing was that they were helping him point out. That said, College Humor has this thing where they keep showing some of his stuff, and this one is recent, and it cracks me up. It's called Adam Ruins Everything Corrects Itself, which is basically, I think one of the actors, part of the cast, she counteracts things that he said in past episodes to basically correct the record about shit he got wrong when he said he was correcting like other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little meta, but it's really kind of funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they did one recently too where they basically covered the fact that sometimes when somebody tries to correct something you believe in already, all it causes them is to believe it more.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to change their minds, but by doing this, trying to change their minds, you're actually causing them to not change their minds and believe stronger in their beliefs. So, but I really like the dynamic between those two because she's quite often the person he's ruining everything for. She's the us on that, but then sometimes somebody else jumps in. So.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Adam's cute.
He is adorable.
He is.
I really wish he would fucking grow a beard out. and not kind of be as consumed probably for his job with this show in the visual in terms of his body, because interestingly I've caught in one of his podcasts they talked about like diet programs, why they don't work, and some other stuff. What's interesting is that he struggled with his weight all his life, and so he said he's always kind of been a little beefier, and the boy has like the beginning of thick thighs as far as I'm concerned. So and I realize that he's married and all that. I don't care. I'm just like, you know what? Like, you could definitely be welcome, to the party.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Considering, there's a lot of, he's. I'm like, I went like, oh, let me look at pictures of him because I know he was kind of cute, but I haven't really looked at him, and I'm like, oh yeah, he really needs a. Yeah, if he would. Like you said, if he would grow out his beard, get rid of the kind of the scruff that he has sometimes, that would be really nice. He would be really nice because he's not like he's got a stockiness to him, but not like a raw. So he's cute, definitely.
Yeah, if any bear, cub, otter, wolf, whatever, the animal menagerie. If any of y'all out there look like Adam and you decide to cosplay this for Halloween, just be aware some motherfuckers might like try to take you aside into a bathroom stall and do all sorts of things to you. Just saying. Because I
In
think
other words,
that's a thing.
do it. Anyway, that. And guess what, folks? It's the end of the show.
Oh.
Plenty of ways to contact us. Pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, like Sierra otherwise, at 361 COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, YouTube, where you can subscribe and watch us. All at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate place in the URL. Please join us in the Cubs Out Loud Entourage on Bear Underground or the COL Entourage group on Facebook. You can rate us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us to Google Play Podcasts and give us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio. Find me anywhere on the internet as Boxset, Box Puppy, Box Cub, Box something or other.
I am Theater Cub 79 on Bear Underground, Growler, Tumblr, HeftyNet, and Facebook. And you can also find me as pup_Umbra on Twitter.
You can find me on Tumblr or Twitter under the name The Pup Up There, driving on the highway, tapping my brake lights, or various dating sites across the net under the name Pup Shutter or Cupcake76.
Another Shave fan appearance for you audio listeners. Gary?
Gary's going to kill me.
No, but I think I'm going to use the shade fan on you in ways you haven't predicted. All right. If you want to find me anywhere on the internet, you can pretty much find me as GareBear73. That's GARBEAR73. I think a bunch of y'all, like horny motherfuckers, have been paying attention and adding the XXX for Tumblr, because I don't know, in the past month I've had so many people start following me, and they're not bots, because I check and block them. So yeah, there's that.
You block the non-bots? Anyways, never mind.
I blocked the bots. Anyways.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good one, y'all.
I think Gary needs to go have breakfast downstairs.
I think I have to go piss so badly. But anyways, no, yeah, apparently I don't know what's going on. No one's rung the bell or yelled at me to come have breakfast yet, so I think they're in the midst of making it. I'm more disturbed by the fact that there's a link to a Vimeo video that appears to be somebody took He-Man and did something really not right with it. I'm not sure yet because I haven't started watching it.
Where is this?
It's He-Man and Skeletor, like. Oh, well, hi, chubby, chefy dude at a diner. Oh.
Wait, where's this link?
Hang on. So it's like a biker bar in the middle of no man's land, and he just walked in and the whole bar just like stopped doing what it's doing. Oh my god, Skeletor's at the bar.
Skeletor saved and money.
Link!
Alright, hold on. How do I... Come on. Copy link address, paste to Skype. Oh, that's not going to work, because that's to the person's profile, and you don't follow them. You're not going to be able to see that. Hang on. Oh, no. Hang on. All right, I'm just gonna reblog it, and you guys are friends with me, so you'll be able to see this. Share. Not right. I'm just gonna say not right to begin with. I haven't even watched the whole damn thing yet.
Whoever's controlling the Cubs Out Loud Tumblr account, please reblog this for all of our listeners who end up listening to this in the post show.
Well, I'll have to find it first.
I got it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Where did it go?
Wait a minute, is this on your normal Tumblr account?
No. It's on my Facebook.
Oh, it's in your Facebook.
Oh, Jesus.
You said reblog, made it sound like Tumblr.
I showed it on Facebook. This is so not right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop before we get like some copyright thing for the music. Later, folks.